Alright, welcome back to the second part of the tutorial. We will be continuing. So, first things first, we are going to add a material to the rectangle. So rectangle 0, we're going to name the material rectangle 0. Do this so that you don't confuse yourself. Next, we need to extract the camera texture. So just go to camera and then extract texture. And then apply the texture to the camera texture to the texture of material rectangle 0. Then we need to do the same for the other rectangles and just name it the same thing as the rectangle, give it the same name, and then make the shader type flat. And then we're going to do the same to the rectangle 0. And then we're going to add a material to rectangle 1 as well. So all your rectangles will have a material now, and make sure that the shader type for all of them is flat. All right. So at any moment, if you need to pause, please feel free to do so. So we're just going to make the rectangle 2 and 1 invisible for now. And we are going to just close that. Make sure that BG LUT is above the face tracker. So that is very, very important. So the next thing we're going to do is just make sure that you pause the video. And we are going to add the head occluder. So just drag and drop it into the face tracker. So as you can see, we can't see the head occluder. So we're just going to go to render options and turn off right to depth. Next, we're going to scale the head occluder. So I always start off with 0.5 as a base when I'm scaling 3D objects, and then I see where I go from there. So if it's a little bit smaller, we make it a little bit smaller. So make all of them 1.8 for now. And let's see. So turn on your video after you've added a 3D object, or in this case, the head occluder, just to see how the object is going to move when the person moves their head. And pull that up. And now we're going to add the bust occluder. And we're just going to scale the bust occluder. And we're going to just pull it backwards. So once we've scaled the bust occluder, we are going to go to the bust occluder material. We're going to click on blend mode and we're going to change it to alpha. We're going to pull the opacity down to 0, and we're going to do the same thing for the head occluder. Blend mode, alpha, opacity 0. I just want to make sure that everything is positioned correctly, so I'm leaving the opacity at 29 quickly and pulling the head up, and then let us turn it down to 0. There we go. All right. Next, we are going to add a face mesh. So we're going to take the face mesh and we're going to put it above the bust and the head occluder. This is very important. So make sure that your face meshes are above your 3D objects. And then we're going to add a material. We're going to name the first one glossy. And then we're going to give the face mesh the same name. Name it glossy. And then the second face mesh, we're going to name it face paint. And we're going to do the same thing for the material, name it face paint. All right. So let us go to the face paint one and turn it off. Make the visibility 0. And then we're going to go to glossy and we're going to make it physically based. Pull up the metallic. And then change the blend mode to add. And then pull up the opacity a little bit. Make it about 89. and then change the color as well. So it gives it that glossy color. I'm choosing yellow. And there we go. All right, perfect. Then we're going to go to face paint, and you're going to add one of the, just turn the visibility on so we can see it. And you're going to add one of the face masks that you would have downloaded. I'm going to use the second one. And then we're going to turn the visibility off for now. And then let's add Scythian's pectoral. So pull it into the face tracker, just drag and drop. And we're just going to position this. So what I'm doing now is I'm just positioning the face, the pectoral onto the head. So you'll see what the occluder does and the purpose of the occluder now. You'll see it in action. So I just want to pull this down. Okay. So you can see that the occluder is blocking out the pectoral. That's the purpose of the occluder. So let's rotate it a little bit, and then let's position it on the head. And we see that it cuts the head a little bit, so we know that it is close enough to the head. So I always have the video rotate its head to make sure there's not a giant gap in between the pectoral and the person's forehead. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's scale it down to 0.5 first to see if that is big enough. I think it is. And bring it forward. Let's pull it up onto the forehead. And just a little bit more back. And let's see. When he rotates his head, we don't want a giant gap in his forehead. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That's working great. Now let's go to the Scythian's pectoral material. Whoop. There it is. Let's go to the material, and we are going to change the color to a yellow. Okay, perfect. So we are going to be adding render pass to make it glow. I'm just going to pull the metallic way up. Let's turn the roughness down. And let's just change the yellow a little bit. And then we need emission, emission color. And let's make that yellow. We're going to need it for when we use render pass to make the pectoral glow. Next, we're going to pull in the ring, pull it into the face tracker. And we're going to need to delete this white part. So let's just rotate this so that we can differentiate from the two. Okay. Let us delete that. Go to the ring and open the root nodes. And you just open all of them up. We can delete a couple of things here. Delete circle point 001 and delete the lamp as well. We're not going to need that. All right. Now we've got our circle. Let us rotate the circle. And we're just going to scale that down. And make sure that it fits perfectly around the neck. All right. Next, we are going to add a null object and just drop the null object into the face tracker and pull the ring into the null object. Then we're going to duplicate the ring 3 times. Well, twice, because we want 3 rings. You can add as many rings as you like, actually. I just think 3 rings is the perfect amount. And I'm just going to select all of them, Control and left click, and just scale them all down. And there we have it. So this is the second part of the tutorial. Join me in the third part where we add render pass to the pectoral, we change the color of the rings, and we add a color LUT when the person moves their head left and right, and we make everything appear when the person moves their head backward, just for a dramatic effect. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or send me a message on Instagram at the AROGcam, at the AROGcam. I will leave all of my details in the description below. And if you at any point got stuck or confused, please rewind it, go back and watch it, and pause the video and see if you can figure it out. If you don't, as I said, you can always drop me a message, and I will see you in part 3.